For now, we're going to say, because for the next 60 seconds, as long as you're concentrating, you're out of combat.
Okay, so what I did, do you remember the dragon?
Uh-huh.
The same thing, and it was my belief that, ghosts have no business on this plane, but Chomp does, so I hope that he would come back and not bring the ghost with him.
You hope.
Okay, when you swing your sword, you hope it hits, okay? All right, leave me alone.
I mean, that's a point.
How do we know, what?
We will know in 60 seconds.
Okay.
Help me gather up these bones to burn. They are an abomination.
Well.
Once they're collected, I'll create a bonfire on top of it.
Thank you, Certus. The sun god will be pleased.
All right. So really, who's going to help with this? Who's going to help actually gathering them up? Is it just you, Zipple?
I will, and I'll put some marigold seeds in the fire as well.
Okay.
I mean, I can help. I just want to be able to get it set ablaze quickly.
So within the course of about 60 seconds, there's 4 collections of these bones. Roll an athletics check to see just how quick and well,
16?
Yeah, we'll say athletics. 16? Okay. I mean, within the course, kind of hanging back, you first picking up most of the bones from the one and then going over, and you're able to...
Not my first bone gathering.
No, it's not your first bone gathering, that's true. You're able to grab the other 3 and then ending with the one that the ghost had risen out of, which is currently right in front of Crom. You dump them all into one, and as Cirthus lights it on fire, you're coming up on 60 seconds. Would anybody like to do anything else in those 60 seconds?
Crom's gonna cry a little.
Okay, that's fair.
Why do you cry, Crom?
He took my friend.
The friend that had bit you. That friend. He will be back.
I mean,
I'm going to, I guess if I have any idea about when it's supposed to come back, use my belt.
Okay.
Not really going anywhere, just getting it ready.
Like just activating it?
Yeah.
Okay. Coming up on 55 seconds, you all hear a twig snap behind you. And let's see. Cirthus, you probably being the last one back now, you see Roland coming up from the trail, having tracked you.
I'm spooked. Eldritch Blast. Just kidding.
1 second. All right. And Roland, as you come up, that 60 seconds ends, and could everybody roll for initiative? Are you all there?
15.
19 for Cirthus.
18 for Roland.
Crom got a nat 20. So we're 2.
I dare you to bite it back.
If I bite it back, I could actually regain health points.
I mean, that's true. What did you get again, Zippo?
15, homie.
15, thank you. There it is. And Chomp, just for the heck of it, because it'll be good to know.
Yeah. Am I rolling with T-Rex stats for this? I guess.
Yes, because you are technically still in the T-Rex body.
Okay, then a 16.
Oh, okay. You all still rolled better than the ghost.
Ghost.
Okay, so from the top, the T-Rex, possessed T-Rex, suddenly reappearing, roaring over you, with a bonfire now in front of you. Crom, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm gonna say I'm so happy to see you again, but now I have to hit you, and I'm gonna. I guess since I had that time where I wasn't raging,
Uh-huh.
then I have to re-rage,
You would have to re-rage, yes.
and I have a level of exhaustion now
Because of frenzy.
because of frenzy.
Because of frenzy, yep. Okay, that imposes disadvantage on something.
Yeah.
Go to conditions.
Hold on, let me double. Hold on.
Disadvantage on ability checks.
Yeah, on ability checks.
Okay, good to know. All right, so but re-raging, I'm assuming you're gonna attack.
Yep.
Oh, and just out of curiosity, Chomp, do you remember if your T-Rex body was at full hit points when we left last time?
I have him listed as having 86 hit points left.
Then we're gonna do that. All right. That will do. Okay. Crom, what did you roll to hit?
19.
19 hits a T-Rex, yes.
$17 damage.
17 damage. And second attack?
Yeah. 25 to hit. Yeah.
That definitely hits, yeah.
$19.
19 damage. Oh, wow.
Down to 50.
Crom does all the damage. All right. Okay, those two slashes, one coming across and crippling one of the tiny little arms on the side. That's so sad. And then the other coming across into the chest. I mean, it's bleeding. This what you thought was a friend in front of you. But Cirthus, what would you like to do? You have a good amount of, like maybe about 25 feet in between you and this T-Rex, and also a log in front of you. So
I'm definitely gonna like teleport whatever Bamf away from it. Let's see. Maybe on the other side of the thick part of the tree, so it's got more to get to me.
okay, we can do that. All right. Okay. And what would is that? Because that's a bonus action with your belt on, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a spell real quick.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna cast suggestion at the T-Rex. I'm not sure if it'll affect it, but I'm gonna tell it to turn back into its normal self.
Oh, interesting. Okay. See, this is when, because we're dealing with possession, we get real confusing on some of these things, because it depends on what the ghost kept and what it didn't when it possessed the T-Rex Chomp.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work because it's supposed to be able to understand me.
Okay, it has to make a wisdom saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to go ahead and do that. No. Okay. And a wisdom saving throw. Yeah. Okay, that is a 19. Yes, no?
What?
Sure. So, attack save, wisdom 15.
What's that? Oh. Yeah, so then it's saved.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you release the spell and try to suggest to it, it seems to kind of the spell almost seems to seize up in midair in front of you, and you realize that while it's taken over the body of a T-Rex, parts of the intellect and or soul of the spirit are definitely active in the way that the T-Rexes wouldn't be. Like it seems stronger on some of these, maybe if you might say wisdom or charisma or intellect levels. You know, if one was to quantify these things. In any case, what am I looking for? Ah, yes, Roland. Seeing this, as you come up to your friends, you see the familiar colors of the like green and dark brown T-Rex that Chomp sometimes turns into, but it seems to be attacking the rest of the party. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go up 30 feet, and that's my walking speed or running speed, and just get ready to attack.
Okay, I mean, let me count real quick, but I think you might be able to do it.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah, you can totally get right up on it. So, would you like? I mean, but it depends. Do you want to make a range attack, or would you like to make a?
No, I'm gonna hit it with my rapier.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and roll for damage, or roll for hit.
That is a 23 to hit.
That'll hit. Wow. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I go. Sorry, I keep looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. Oh wow, that is a whole 6.
6.
Yeah, I'm just kind of poking it to get the ghost out.
Do you get sneak attack?
Yeah, you do get sneak attack on that because it is engaged.
That's right. Thank you. And I said 6. Yeah, 8. So 14.
14. Okay, that's better. Especially after that big attack roll. Running up to it and jabbing it in the side, you manage to hit a major muscle and artery in there, and it starts bleeding out the side a little bit. Definitely hurt. And it feels strange to be hitting something that you're fairly sure is your friend, but you are trying to defend your other friend, Crom, who is being attacked by this thing, so it does make sense to you. Who is up next? It is Chomp. Chomp, is there anything you would like to think ineffectually on your turn? Sorry.
Is my turn?
It is, but I mean, you don't get to make another saving throw, unfortunately, with possession. So.
So there's no way I can unpolymorph myself?
No.
That would require a bonus action. It is like an active thing that I would have to be doing.
Yeah, because you are incapacitated, and well, let me see something. just to see.
How dead are you?
Yeah, you can't take actions or reactions.
Yeah, that's a no.
Yeah, so that's a no.
Are you thinking about it?
But you're
Am I
thinking,
thinking?
you're thinking about it. You are thinking
Well-
so hard about it.
Well, I'm thinking with my little T-Rex brain, so it's probably about
Yeah.
food.
Full.
Fair. It's very fair. Okay. So, moving along, Zippel. Seeing this, just across the smoldering bonfire of bones that you've made, there is a T-Rex biting it, or that seems to have come back into existence, red eyes still. Doesn't seem to have gotten rid of the ghost. What would you like to do?
I'm going to hold up my holy symbol and say, I believe I told you to piss off, ghost. And I'm going to try to turn undead. Now, because I'm level 9, at level 5, depending on the challenge rating, if they fail the saving throw, the undead creature is destroyed. So I don't know how you want to do that.
Here, let me see something. Because it depends on the undead creature.
Yeah.
Um,
But either way, I'm going to try that.
each undead you can hear within the... Okay, I mean, yeah, you can... Well... So it has to make a saving throw. What kind of wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, wisdom.
Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Ah. Okay. Wisdom saving throw. That is a 9.
That does not beat my 17.
Okay. As you tell it to piss off, you see the whole body of the T-Rex kind of seize up suddenly, and the little arms kind of go in like... And the ghost appears next to it. Chomp, at this point, you feel like you can move again.
Can I
yes.
ask what the... I'm guessing I didn't kill it.
You did... Well, let me see. That's the... I haven't looked at that part yet. Okay, so what's the part that would kill it?
It said, like, if you scroll down, destroy
Oh,
undead,
yeah.
starting at 5th level, fails its saving throw, is instantly destroyed if its challenge rating is at or below a certain threshold. So that's
Yeah.
up to you, I guess.
Its challenge rating is definitely higher.
Okay, well, cool. I mean, it's still got to run away, I guess,
But
eventually.
it's gotta use its something something to something something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's turned for 1 minute and
Yeah, then it can't come near me and
Yeah.
got to try to run away. I have brought you back, Chap.
okay. Good use of a spell. So, as this happens, it happens to be the ghost's turn. And as you watch, it just takes off. Now, because you are right next to it, technically, Chomp and Crom, you can both take an attack of opportunity against the ghost if you'd like.
Just like your regular
Okay.
standard melee.
Yeah, so it would be a bite attack for you, Chomp, and then just a sword attack for you, Crom.
Okay, 20 to hit.
That hits.
And 14 damage.
14. Okay, and Chomp.
There's an 18 to hit.
That hits.
And let's see. $42 piercing.
Oh my god. Okay. Once as Crom, having a little bit faster reflexes than you, hits it once as it comes out of your body, and her magical sword travels through it, almost bisecting it. It looks incredibly hurt. And you, in your anger at not being able, in your T-Rex little brain, at not being able to move or do anything for the last few seconds, and also being sent to another plane, strangely, it just chomps down on it, and it dissipates, this time into a million little kind of sparks of mist that fly out into the woods and the swamp around, and it is no more.
Phew.
Okay.
And that's how you turn polymorph against the party.
Welcome back, Jump.
Okay, can I transform now?
I mean, we're technically gonna out of combat now, so you can become not a T-Rex. Yes.
So, as a T-Rex, I start screaming as I try to go back into my original form, and as I become a gnome, I say, I have seen horrible things. I have been to the Lake of Fire.
You are more attractive as the lizard.
Ooh.
A second here is a million years there.
Where did you send him to?
Somewhere.
Random plane.
Chomp might swear off using banishment again as a spell now that he's experienced it.
I mean, it's useful though.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that red dragon who would have killed all of you?
Yeah.
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 It's probably a temporary feeling. He'll get over it.
Okay. All right. Kind of settling down as they're suddenly quiet again all around you. You all notice Roland has rejoined, having recovered from his illness. It looks kind of baffled by what the hell just happened, I'm sure. But at the same time, Harper, your guide, comes kind of standing up out of the long grass and weeds next to some of the twisted trees here in the swamp, where she had been squatting down watching this all happen, and says, well then, that's interesting. Shall we be going then?
Why didn't anything attack you?
Well, you see, I'm very good at hiding, and like I told you before, I do not like fighting.
Okay.
Crumbs not understand that sentiment.
Yeah.
Well, to each their own. But in any case, shall we keep on then? She looks up into the sky where you can't see anything but kind of low clouds everywhere and the constant drizzle that's always coming down here in the swamp. And she says, I think it's about noon, so have a while.
I am ready if you are.
Yeah.
Do you need healing, Chomp? Are you alive still
Yeah, I'm alive. I mean,
from before?
yeah, I don't know if I got 17.
17?
Yeah, I can wait till a short rest or something as long as we
Okay.
don't get
Yeah, we're good.
anything to.
All right then. Well, let's go. And she starts leading you out of this kind of small clearing where the huge tree had fallen and created this more open space. Yeah, as you continue on into the swamp, you can smell the burning of the bones behind you, along with this strangely kind of sweet smell. You're not sure what exactly it was, but the flames, as you look behind, just before they kind of fade into the mist of the bonfire of bones behind you, kind of turn from the regular kind of golden and red flames to this more white flame as it seems to burn hotter and hotter. Yeah.
What was that? What happened?
Oh,
What did
the bones, as you were leaving, seemed to burn hotter and hotter, and you started to smell this kind of sweet smell from the bonfire of bones.
So, Z-Pill, I haven't been around too many ghosts. Why did you burn the bones?
Oh, that is it. Because undeath is an abomination to the sun god. So it was a religious imperative for me to dispose of the undead.
So they live inside of bones?
No, I mean, the ghosts, there are many theories on what the ghosts is.
That's fair.
There is the concept of a soul. And, there is one train of thought that the souls who do not pass on stay here as ghosts. And that one happened to be in the bones, but the bones walking around in general, was an abomination to the sun god, who's kept alive by the death of all. So, I had to it was a religious imperative then to destroy them for offending the sun god.
Okay.
How are you feeling, Roland?
Oh, much better, thank you. What exactly was going on there?
So what happened was there was a bunch of skeletons, which is, of course, an abomination to the sun god, who is fueled by all of our death. So we...
No, please continue.
So when we saw them and we tried to start to fight them, and then that one turned into a T-Rex, and it was a very attractive-looking animal, if I just say so myself. And then there was a ghost, which was even worse, and then the ghost turned in, and he took over the T-Rex. But then I banished the T-Rex in the hope that I would send the ghost on its merry way, but then the T-Rex came back when I was burning all of the bones, and then I forced the ghost out of the T-Rex, and then the ghost ran howling from me because I served the sun god.
It was very impressive.
The other ones helped.
They are generous that way.
All right. As you're having this discussion, Harper has just been watching you kind of as you're walking along. She's kind of picking her way. It seems like she's not necessarily following any one trail. Sometimes you're on something that looks like a path or even like two ruts of a road. Other times she's picking her way through just the higher spots in the swamp. And you're able to make pretty good time. But as it goes along, she's just watching you and having this conversation and saying eventually, well then, all of you are some odd types, even considering the adventurers we see coming through here. How did you all meet?
In a blaze of glory.
And then I joined later.
complicated.
I can see that, yes. Well then, we don't have too far to go until we're at the cave. At least as far as I know from the descriptions I've heard. But we do have some time left. Does anybody know any stories just to pass the time?
Can I do something while we're just kind of like hanging out or whatever?
Well, you're all walking along, but possibly.
Yeah. Could I just do like a nature or survival to see if I can tell if we're headed north?
Okay. Go ahead and roll a survival check.
11.
It's been a while since you were here in the swamp. As far as you can tell, you're headed very vaguely north. Yeah. Eventually. Sorry, what was that?
Harper, I think you should tell us a story.
Oh, well, I suppose I could. Have you ever heard the one about how the Kraken trading post got its name?
Mm-mm. Please tell us.
Well, you might be wondering then, as she kind of continues blazing the path and now seeming at least interested in talking to you. You might be wondering how a place so far from any coast got the name Kraken. Us being a good 100 or more leagues from anywhere near the ocean. Well, I'll tell you. Because a long while back, there was even less in the village of Braunbog than there is now. In fact, the trading post that you see now was pretty much all there was, it being smaller at the time, of course. It's been built onto since then. It was owned by a fellow named Jack, the originator of the Kraken. And he had set up shop there because of the ruins that you saw for Pelor, the sun god. Praise be to his name. And she touches her heart and then her lips and then raises her hand as she says that, continuing walking. But you see, traders used to use it as a landmark, those ruins, you see. So he thought he would take advantage, of course, of the traffic. And he did pretty well. The business grew, of course, but there were always troubles. In fact, around that same time, and you may have heard this part before, but there was a lich in residence here in the Dream Seep. He was known as Uda, a mage driven mad by his obsession with everlasting life. Of course, he had found that everlasting life in undeath, which, if you ask me, not the best way. And in fact, maybe not the most healthy way. In any case, at the time, he was making quite a nuisance of himself, what with turning everyone he came across into an undead abomination. And she gestures kind of off to the side as she's walking, and you can see that there's a small box turtle kind of crawling along the path, except for it has a large hole in its shell, and it's a strange kind of off-green color in its skin, and it's obviously undead. And as she says
I
that,
shoot a flame at it.
Okay. I mean, easy enough. I mean, you don't even have to roll. It dies. It goes up in this white flame. And she says, well, thank you for that. We can't always take care of all of them. In any case, Uda, the Lich. At the time, he was making a nuisance of himself, creating many undead, and so Jack was looking for a fix. As you see, it's not great for business having half your clientele, before they come in, turned into zombies or what have you. But it just so happened that around the same time anyway, an adventuring party came through, a treasure-seeking group, as maybe you all yourself would consider yourselves. Gesturing to all of you. And in fact, there was a wizard in that group too, quite a bit like you. She points over at you, Chomp. And they had been fairly experienced. At that time, the Dream Seep being even more dangerous than it is today. And so, they were looking for gold or treasure or secrets. But upon hearing Jack's unhappy stories of clientele turned into monstrosities and abominations, the wizard and the party formulated a plan. You see, somewhere in his travels, and in their travels, they had come across a gargantuan monstrosity known apparently as a kraken. Now, you may have heard of these creatures, these huge behemoths of the sea. So big they create their own weather systems as they go, tentacles dragging down whole ships into a toothy maw. The wizard hadn't tried defeating such a thing, and neither had the party, but had only just escaped with their lives. And also, they had taken some small mementos of sorts, the wizard having a small spine from one of the tentacles. But in any case, having drawn up their plans, Uda, the Lich, was based in a necropolis near the center of the swamp, where his undead servant had built him a fortress of types. The wizard and his group decided they were going to sneak in, engage the many skeletons, zombies, and other things in battle. Eventually, after destroying many of his servants, of course, the Lich himself came out. Uda, this undead mage who had decided he wanted to live forever and had sold his soul, as it were, and seemed ready to wipe out the group. But like I said, the wizard had come up with a plan. He first, while the rest of the party engaged the Lich, trying to distract him, he sneaked into the center of the fortress, while everyone distracting was holding his attention. And he was certain he would find some type of magical runes there. Described in the stories anyway as a circle of some type. And he found such a, by the stories anyway, he found such a circle. And then as he got there, using that spine as a focus, he was able to transport himself in some way to the lair of the Kraken. Getting there, he found the Kraken asleep, and quietly, upon the half-submerged floor of this watery, salty cavern, using different chalks and paints, drew his own circle. And just before completing it, making some loud yelling and noises, managed to wake up the beast, who, perceiving that one that had gotten away from him was now in his grasp, charged after him. And just before it reached the wizard, he completed the last stroke of his circle, activating the magic, and as the Kraken touched it, he was transported to the center of the necropolis, here in the Dream Seep. Now, you can imagine such a thing showing up unexpectedly. The Lich turned his attention to it most hurriedly. And under the weight of such a thing, the fortress, with not much time to spare to escape, for our heroes, of course, began to sink beneath the marsh, the monster and the undead locked in battle. Now, of course, it did sink beneath the marsh, and, of course, to this day, it's thought that Uda exists somewhere beneath, as you can see, gesturing back at the now burning turtle corpse that's disappearing into the mist behind you. The undead curse of the Lich still lives on, but the Kraken was able to at least bury such a thing. And so upon hearing this story, Jack, of course, named his trading post after it. And that's, basically the reasons it is named such.
Great story, great story. Wizard saves the day, my kind of story.
Yeah, but the wizard was also the one that became a lich too. Another wizard.
Yeah.
Are you gonna become a witch? Don't you like to do necromancy?
What?
I've dabbled.
What?
I mean, if you call animate dead spells necromancy, then I guess yeah, but I mean,
I do.
I wouldn't call myself a necromancer by any means.
Okay. Just like
Every time I talk to you people, I find more things that I should have known before I was sent on this quest with you.
Well, if we told everybody all those things, we'd never have a party.
Also, I heard it was after a ex-girlfriend.
Well, I haven't heard of that, but that sounds good. I mean, as excuses go, ex-girlfriends, not the worst. Not the best either. In any case, and she continues leading you on to the swamp. Okay. Moving along, as the day wears on into the later afternoon, you all have been doing quite a bit of travel. Roland, especially you, having had to go extra quick to keep up. But eventually, Harper leads you once again up to the kind of edge of another clearing here in the swamp, a slightly higher bit of land, as it were. On all sides, you see the tangle of vines and trees and different growth that you've seen everywhere in the swamp. But in the middle, you see a small rise with a bit of stone next to a huge tree rising a good 100 feet into the air. Different vines and mosses and who knows what is hanging off the tree. And you catch, those of you especially with a good nose, especially you, Zipple, the scent of decaying flesh. And in the middle of this small stone outcropping, not more than about 30 feet tall, you see what looks like it could be a shadow of a doorway with its own vines and different growth kind of covering it. At this point, Harper stops and in a whisper tells you, I kind of think I'm going to take you any further in here. But if the stories are to be believed, that is where you'll find the dragon. And she kind of settles in behind a stump, shielding her from being seen, and just starts whittling away at a piece of wood. What would y'all like to do?
Wait, so the dragon lives inside of a tree?
No, there's a big tree in front of the cave.
There's
Well, that's what my notes say, a huge tree in front of a cave.
but there's a door in the tree?
There's a door in the rock formation, kind of, that's next to the tree.
Limestone cave.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that cave behind the tree. I see it now.
Okay.
My fault. Okay, what would you all like to do?
About what time is it?
It's
Is it
it's a few hours since you defeated the skeletons and ghost, which didn't really take that long, but it seemed to take forever.
At least before rest.
Drop it, drop it.
It's maybe 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Like the sun is still hasn't gone behind the mountains to the west.
Okay. So I guess light doesn't matter in a cave.
I mean,
So
that is true.
we could go in there or
Take a
take
short rest.
a long rest, a short
Short rest at least.
short rest. We could do recon and then
Yeah, what's the plan?
Yeah,
Are we
what-
gonna-
what?
Are we gonna kill this dragon or?
Yeah, why don't y'all discuss that? I'll be right back while y'all discuss that.
Yeah.
well, how's everybody on hit points? I guess we at least need to take a short one. What do y'all think?
We should rest and give us time to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Maybe not right on his doorstep, though.
Yeah, definitely not a long walk right here in front of him.
So a short rest, you could get back hit points and
Yeah.
some spell slots, or I don't know.
Yeah, I could get back some spell slots and expend some hit dice. I could swap out a spell, I think. Or I think I can do that in bonus.
Okay, so again, we just need the scale.
Yeah, we don't have to get the whole dragon.
And black dragons do acid, and they can breathe underwater.
Should we maybe look around for like a back door? Because we were also like talking earlier that black dragons like to have 2 ways in, and one of them they like to have underwater.
Yes. There's an
Just
underwater
might
and
be
then
good to know where that second door is.
true. Somebody has water breathing?
I can hold my breath for 15 minutes.
And I think Surface can cast
And then we have that spell.
something on all of us.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, are you still casting that on everybody every morning?
Yep.
Okay.
We get to use it. Yay!
We can all breathe underwater as it stands right now.
Okay. So, would you all like to do a search around for the other entrance, if there is one?
I think it's a good idea. What do the others think?
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think we should be aware of it for planning reasons.
Should we all go, or should we split the party?
Sorry.
The metal child
No.
will stay here.
Oh yeah, is MC with us?
He is. He's just been hanging out, kind of watching everything with his hands clasped, just head turning back and forth. Even as you were all battling things, he didn't do a whole lot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does he
Metal
know this
chap.
area? Maybe he has some ideas.
Are you
Or maybe Harper would be able to tell us if we ask.
if you what?
If we ask Harper if she knows of where we could look for underwater.
Yeah, is there a river or a lake or a pond?
I mean, it's like a swamp here.
It'd have to be pretty big, right? Like a big lake.
Well, as you ask her, she kind of looks up from her whittling and says, I mean, It's a swamp. There's a lot of water around here. I've never heard of any second entrance. This is all that I've heard of, and I've never been in it, and I don't plan to go. So, cheers.
Ugh.
Thanks for the help.
Well, I found it for you, didn't I? You wouldn't be here if it weren't for me.
No.
Yeah, good point.
You don't. That is debatable.
Yeah.
We thought you were brave, Harper.
I mean, I've never claimed as such.
Truth.
Well, let us consider the fox. The fox. It's probably somewhere behind this main entrance. No.
I mean, I guess we need to like walk around a little because there's a big cave,
Mhm.
and what's around the cave?
So
Like,
yeah, looking out. Make a perception check real quick to see exactly what you see.
oh, I got a nat 20
Oh,
plus 6, 26.
wow! All right. So looking out where you see the cave, like I said, it's in a clearing. It seems like the land from where you are on the edge of the clearing up to the point where the rock formation and the large tree are is mostly kind of swamp grasses. It's less wet than the area around it, being raised up a bit. And like I said before, you can smell the scent of decaying flesh. And taking a closer look out and spending some time sitting here as you talk, you find that in several places you catch kind of a small glimpse of something among the swamp grass that you think might be the body of something. In fact, as you continue looking nearer to the cave, on the side of the big tree, you see kind of maybe propped up amongst the roots what looks like some type of humanoid, mostly decomposed body skeleton with just bits of rotting flesh left on it, just kind of laying there. You're not sure why exactly there aren't any other trees in this clearing other than the huge one, but it is pretty good size across. It's a good 300-400 meters across, in diameter.
Certhis, Champ, you are wizardly peoples. These lich, do they not need some kind of device to be destroyed?
Like something that would negate their immortality, like a way to kill them.
Yes.
Um,
I had a terrible thought, and maybe it is just the story Harper told. Do you know if a lich would be able to polymorph?
I don't know, but I know that. I mean, as a player, I have answers.
Would anybody like to roll a Arcana check?
Yeah, I'll roll an arc.
Go for it.
That's a.
Yeah, it rolls well.
Yeah, go for it.
So with my pendant that helps me find secret doors, does it have to be a proper door or an entrance that I don't know about?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say that it's any hidden entrance. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 26 Arcana check.
Insert this.
And 24.
24. Okay. As you all sit, as the both of you sit and think for a minute, you've read little bit both about liches and demi-liches, and the mechanisms by which they come such things. And you know that there's not a whole lot of ways to stop them, especially once they become the mainly incorporeal Demi-Lich. There's not a lot to hurt, and even if you do manage to kill it in 24 hours, it's back. But what is left of their soul, you know, is kept in something called a phylactery. This kind of gem-like object magically created to keep their life force in stasis and therefore undying. So, if you wanted to kill a lich or the like, that is what you would have to destroy. And of course, first find. And of course, you also think, with those rolls especially, just connecting the dots, that this was a lich that battled a kraken and still obviously has some kind of power in this area. So, you know, kind of powerful, to say the least.
So, back to the finding the entrance to the thing. Should I, what do y'all think? I should try to swim around in the swamp and see if my pendant starts to buzz?
I mean, you could, if you want, you could make a loop of the area on the tree line and see if there's anything that buzzes.
Okay. Do I get a battle buddy or am I solo?
I will attend with you.
Okay.
Let's stick together.
Should I polymorph into a plesiosaurus?
Harper can stay back here.
Harper
Metal
says,
child.
I will stay here. That sounds like a great idea. Me and the whatever.
Metal
Okay.
child, do not go with her.
Go looking.
Do not go with the Harper, metal child. You stay here.
Okay, so who is going with Crom then?
I am.
Oh, I am.
I am going.
It's a pretty,
Run.
what was that? Sorry.
Take a short rest after.
I mean, it's
Or
up to
can
you.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming. Never know, my friends.
I mean, depending on how long this takes, we might be back at dark and then just call it a long rest.
Maybe. Cool.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I'm in.
Swimming.
So, heading out along, there is just open water in parts of this, and you do have to swim. In other parts, you're trudging through just mud. Like sucking mud. I don't know if you've ever been in the kind of mud that will just take a shoe off and you'll never find it again. But
Yeah.
there's some of that's like that here, and you got to be careful. Would anybody like to make just a survival check to see how well you're able to do this?
I can cast water walking as well.
I got 21.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, you know what? Damn it. I forgot. I'm still exhausted.
That's true. You are. I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Okay, then I got that one. Okay.
Did you hear that? And cast
What?
water walk as well. It takes an hour, or
Okay.
it lasts an hour. But, so, I don't know.
Well, I mean, around something that's about 300-400 meters in diameter, with water walking especially, in that you could choose just to walk on the watery parts and have it be normal terrain. It doesn't take much more. It doesn't take a whole lot more than that to get around, even being stealthy. Crom, you are the one with the amulet, so let me see here. You have a lot of amulet. You have a lot of things. Let me find it. The Pendant of Doors. And that is within 10 feet. So, walking around, you find that for a good long while, even being able to move pretty well, you aren't able to detect anything. Maybe a little past exactly halfway around, you suddenly catch a small buzz as you're walking upon this, what looks like fairly deep water in kind of a small pond area of the swamp here. It's just a little bit of a just the slightest bit of a buzz that comes into your pendant when you're nearly over the middle of this expanse of water. Maybe the expanse of water itself is maybe about 40 feet across by about 20 feet. That's kind of this long bit of water, and it seems that it goes very deep, much deeper than you can see probably, and it is giving you a little bit of a buzz.
Okay, I'll let the others know that.
Okay.
And I'll also tell them I'm feeling very tired, like I'm exhausted. So if somebody else wants to take this pendant and go diving or something, they might have a better chance than I do. It doesn't require attunement, so. Anybody want to swim?
I'll do it.
I'll take it.
Or somebody else can take it.
I mean, we can both go and you guys sit up top. Keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'll stay up top. Look
Okay.
out.
Okay, so who wants to go?
I'll let Ziplio go. However else his name.
Zipiel.
Yep.
2 people go?
That's what I was thinking. And the rest stay up top. Keep an eye out.
I'll go
Maybe-
with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you all have water breathing on, so technically, because it lasts a day, right? Right, Sean? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's 24 hours. So technically you can all breathe underwater right now. So, Zipiel, Tom, you're gonna go, and Margaret, Roland, are you gonna go?
I'll go.
I'll go
Okay.
as well.
And who wants to take the amulet? I mean, just to know.
I'll take it.
Okay. So, with water walking on, of course, which is coming, it's not quite near the end of the hour yet, but you are able to decide suddenly not to walk on water. And kind of looking at each other and nodding, Zippel, you just at that moment putting the amulet around you, you both suddenly just drop below the water. It's cold. Like not freezing, like frigid cold, but much colder than the humid, warm air of the swamp above it. It seems a little odd. The visibility down here is also fairly low, although I believe both of you have dark vision. Is that right?
I don't know that I do.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's okay.
I do.
All right, so at least Roland does. So
So
Roland,
do I.
okay, did you also want to go below with them?
I thought we were going to stick together.
Well, they decided they were going to go below the water and search for the exact entrance. I mean, everybody can go if you want. It's fine with me. It's up to you.
Yeah, y'all decide that. if we don't all go, then I'll stay up top.
Chomp, Crom, what do you want to do?
Yeah, we'll go.
Oh, I thought we were saying.
Well, it's just easier this way. Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah, I only suggested it because you had mentioned the exhaustion thing. I don't really. Either way is cool.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going, I'm gonna follow us into a giant seahorse and let Crom ride on my back.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, so that's another
I mean,
that's another polymorph spell, yes?
Yeah, but
do you have enough spell slots for all this?
Yeah, I got plenty.
Okay.
Or a position, maybe a plesiosaurus.
Sure.
Feeling is running the dinosaur breed.
How big is that though?
Oh yeah, I guess how much water are we talking about here?
What's that?
Like,
How deep?
yeah, what kind of water are we talking about here? What's the size of this body of water?
So, in 2 dimensions, you have about maybe 20, 30 feet by about 40 or 50 feet. You're not sure how deep this thing is. I mean, a plesiosaur could definitely fit in what you can see. You're just not sure how far you have to dive. Because a plesiosaurus is a large beast, so
Yeah, it is large.
10
Zpeel
square feet.
is very interested in you turning into all these lizards.
Zipil's
This is the way.
this is the way.
I was thinking something that could swim really fast would be helpful.
Just hang. We're all waiting.
I mean, a plesiosaur does swim 40 feet.
Yes.
Do it.
Well, the portal package has a 2-headed
Just do it.
plesiosaur. Yeah, okay.
Do it.
I'm gonna polymorph into a plesiosaurus.
As you're all getting ready to dive beneath and kind of discussing whether you should all go or should Chomp go, suddenly Chomp decides, I'm going. And just is
I just
in the
see-
form of the Loch Ness Monster just diving beneath.
I just see Chomp with like a menu, but with like animal forms. Like, no, not that one. Did that yesterday.
Yeah, I've got like a biology textbook that I flip through.
Okay. Okay. So eventually deciding and all diving beneath with your plesiosaur friend now, you find that this pool, well, you had come across other kind of expanses of water, all very murky, just like this, that had looked quite the same, and you had assumed, and in fact, as you've been traveling, kind of trudged through a few of them, they weren't very deep. This one turns out to be much deeper, and in fact, as you go, it kind of funnels down, going 10, and then 20, and then 40, and then 60, and narrowing down until you're to the point where it's only about 10 feet wide. And Chomp, you in plesiosaur form can barely fit through this. But you kind of, going through, it starts to kind of curve horizontal and then eventually back up. And then eventually you can see kind of the shimmering surface of other water in kind of a 20, 30 foot hole above you, where it comes back into air, which you assume is the end of this secretish entrance to the dragon's lair. Ooh. What would you like to do?
Cool. I guess we go back to where we came.
Well, let's see what's going on.
Who wants to poke their head up?
I'll risk it. Spell.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's doing it? Tom,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and make first make a stealth check. I want to see how sneaky you are.
15.
Okay, good.
I'm
enough.
literally like that crocodile eye level thing out of the pool.
And now roll a perception check. See what you see.
15 plus 5 is 20.
20. Okay. So as you come up out of the water, making barely a ripple, you think.
That's concerning.
I mean, as far as you're concerned, you just go, just a little bit of ripple, and you're looking out across, just like your eyes and your nostrils just kind of up and over. You turn around. Outside, you know it's still daylight, and you can see a little bit of light in here, mainly coming from what you see as just this vague kind of dim light coming from an entrance up this large cavernous chamber that you seem to find yourself in. Off to one side, you see something that looks like it's a pile of both bones and shiny things. Possibly muddy, possibly jewels, possibly who knows what, armor, swords, different weapons of different types. You catch a few different kind of vague shapes out of it. You see on the walls, in this very, very dim light, these large kind of claw marks. However, you don't see any type of dragon in here. And I'm going to be right with you because I need to go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Look for scales.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
was
getting
planning on doing that.
yeah, I'm not getting out of the water, and I've got disadvantage on all my ability checks right now until I get a long rest, so that might suck. So I'm not completely ready to run in there yet. So what do y'all think we should do next?
I was kind of thinking maybe slip onto the shore that with all the treasure and make my way to that entrance and see if he's just like scratched off a scale there. What do y'all think?
Is there any stealth stuff we can put on you or something? So you don't get busted?
I can't cast spells.
Does anybody have Pass Without Trace? Or Turn Invisible?
I have fairy fire, which is the opposite. But I guess I could like cast resistance on myself. No, that wouldn't work. I'm thinking bless.
I have silence, but that could really cause some issues.
Also, if we retreat and plan on coming back to attack later, should we try to figure out a way to seal off one of the entrances? Like, could we collapse this
Maybe.
water area? Or
But that would mess us up potentially. It would limit our escape also.
Tim, we explored the cave and we found the dragon dead, so don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
I have all of the scales.
Yeah, it was like it had COVID.
so much legendary.
One of those. It was one of those, militant anti-vaxxer dragons.
It was a hemophiliac, which was really inconvenient for it.
You
So
did-
don't worry about it.
So, coming back to it, do you have any questions about your perception check?
Just with my all my senses, taste, snout, which I guess most people call smell. Can I get any sense of the dragon being in the room or having used this tunnel recently?
So, with your with sight you don't catch a lot. With smell, you catch a very faint scent. As you've been around dragons now, at least once, you catch a very faint scent of something that's very similar to the red dragon you had come across, but more kind of musky and just a slightly off smell to that. But
Dragons with an axe.
only exactly. Very but it's very faint in here.
Okay. Can I paddle over to, like, is that doorway you described, is that on the water or is that like in the shore more?
Getting up the lay of the land a little bit, you see that you are in a pool of water about 30 feet across in a roughly kind of kidney shape. The land entrance to this place with the very faint light coming down through it is about 25 feet off from the right side from you edge of the water. The pile of bones and treasure or what have you is over to your left, further into the cavern.
I guess I'm gonna like try to signal my party members to like bob up and then ask them what we should do.
Okay. You all are signaled by Zipple to come on up out of the water. Do you all kind of bob up into, out of the surface here?
I'm gonna stay underwater.
I mean, you can talk underwater too. You just all have to be
Okay.
underwater.
Oh, then I'm doing that. That's much better.
Okay.
It's kind of like this when you talk, but yeah.
And I
So I fill them in on the situation up top, and I ask what they want to do.
Feel like we need to swim back and take a long rest. But that's just me, So
I think we need a long rest before we get spell slots back.
Are you pooped?
I'm a little tired after chasing y'all through the woods.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay. Well, I mean, we know how to get here tomorrow. I go.
All right.
I mean, if one person wants to jump up, I think it would be better and less noisy if one person wanted to go. But I feel like it's really risky
to do what?
to jump out of the water and like look around,
To see if we find a scale.
a scale or treasure, whatever. I'm just worried about the dragon coming back and catching us, which I guess he could come back through the water and catch us also. So, never mind.
All right. I mean, we'll come back tomorrow. That's everybody seems to be more in favor of that. So,
Okay.
is that okay that I'm saying that?
No. Yes. Yes.
Oh, Christian and Jordan dropped out. Is everybody else still here?
Yep.
Still here.
Okay. My internet's been having problems today. Hey, are you all back?
Yes, we're back. I rage quit, but I decided to come back.
Oh, okay. I've been having a little bit of problem with my internets too sometimes here today. Okay, so it sounded like y'all want to swim back down and out around and sleep for the night. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So on your way back out, could you all please make a stealth check?
Zero.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
It's like, can you stop jumping and playing in the puddles?
Yeah.
22.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
Plus 4 to
I got a 16.
Okay.
for the plesiosaur.
Plesiosaur got a 24.
Nat 20.
Nat 20, whatever.
Yeah. Plesiosaur. Okay. Good to know. Making your way back out of the tunnel, swimming underneath and down and then back up into the widening waters, your head's breaking the surface. You find it's getting to be early evening. The sun is just starting to go down. Within a couple minutes of this, your water walking actually fades, and so you have to make the rest of your way, kind of picking your way in between pools and things like that. And it takes a while because you are trying to be stealthy. You eventually make your way back to the Metal Child and Harper, who are sitting once again behind this large stump that's on the edge where you had first seen the clearing here. The Metal Child seems to be listening to Harper tell another story of some type. But as you come up, she falls silent and then says, "Well, yes, did you find anything interesting in there?"
You would know if you had gone with us.
Well, I mean, I'm interested, but I'm not that interested.
Then we are that not telling.
Fair enough. I'm not being paid to almost die, I suppose. And I'm supposing you all are going to set up camp for the night and take a long rest?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. Cirithus, could you make a... Whoa. You are still here. Tom left for some reason. I'm guessing the interwebs. The tubes are full. Tom, you're back.
Hey, sorry.
Sorry, it's like I was just saying, I think the intertubes got too full at my house. So, Sean, Cirithus, could you roll a perception check for Casilda keeping an eye out tonight as you kind of meditate and watch in your unsleepingness?
$23 or $24, take your pick.
23 or 24? Why is there a pick?
Have advantage on sight or sound perception.
Okay.
So I rolled a 19 and a natural 20.
Okay. So over the course of the night, it's fairly quiet. In fact, strangely quiet considering the other nights you've been out here in the swamp. There's none of the undead that you saw going by before, or even many of the just creatures who you would expect to live in a swamp. But somewhere a couple hours before dawn, only a few hours before the end of your long rest, you see what looks like a large humanoid-ish figure coming across from a ways around the clearing here. And Tom dropped again, didn't he?
Yeah.
There's Tom again.
I-
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Cirthus, you see this large humanoid-ish figure with that roll. Just a couple hours before dawn, kind of a little bit hunched, very muscular looking, and just kind of loping towards the cavern entrance that you see behind the vines and things near the huge tree. Could you please make a nature check? For yourself, not Casilda.
Yeah, 19.
Okay. Just taking in the kind of silhouette in the very dim light out here before dawn that you're seeing, and the size that you think it is based on the size that you know the tree is as it comes near it. This is something that's maybe about 15 feet tall. Around that. Like I said, extremely muscular. And it reminds you of something you've seen before.
Troll.
In fact, it reminds you of the head of the Black Market in Singhorn, who was a troll. And as you think this, you see it disappear into the blackness of the cavern mouth down into the cave.
The one underwater or the normal one?
The one out underwater you can't see from here. This is just the one in the rock formation, the kind of the vague opening behind some vines and things like that. Not too much after that, the sun comes up over the horizon, and as it does, the dome above you fades, and several frogs and a centipede or two, quite large in fact, drop down onto all of you as it fades and is no longer keeping them out.
Breakfast.
There you go.
All right. I will tell everyone this. Now, we think the dragon is here, or what?
I mean, going inside, Zippel saw huge claw marks, very large claw marks on the walls, and what looked like something that might have been a horde inside, but you did just see a troll go down into it.
It smelled of dragon, but not recent dragon.
Maybe the troll slayed it. Yeah, I will relay this to everybody, but I am curious if the troll serves a similar purpose as the cobalt, and yeah.
Okay. As you hear Cirthus relay this to you, what do you all respond?
So we saw a troll go in there? Or you saw a troll go in there, but not a dragon?
Correct.
What do y'all want to do?
What do dragons and trolls? Do they usually hang out?
I mean, that's a good question. Would you like to try to remember?
Yeah, or I don't know if It was in
I don't
the
have it.
Dragon book that Circus had.
I
Didn't
don't
Circus
have it
read a
in my
book about
notes.
dragons?
It says it doesn't, I don't know, my notes say it doesn't work well with other dragons. But I can't read what the other thing I wrote underneath that says, so maybe it says they love trolls. I don't know. It just get along with. I don't know.
Who would
I
like
think
to
you're
do?
right.
Yeah, who would like to do a check on this?
What kind of check?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say it'll be a nature check.
Silver dragons.
That great with nature.
Yeah,
I can
you
try it.
Yeah, I am.
All right, if you would like to try, go ahead and roll a nature check.
Oh wait, no, I'm not surprised.
But you got nature.
22.
22 for Zipple. Crom, are you gonna too?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So Zipple, from what you know of trolls, because you've never fought one or really talked to one, but you know enough from people you've run into and stories and things like that. Trolls, they're not especially social animals, creatures as it were. They don't like being told what to do. And from what you know of black dragons, especially the one that you know lives here in the swamp, it's not especially fond of other creatures either. So there you go.
I pass this on. It is unlikely that they have some kind of working agreement.
Maybe. Or what if it's going in there to kill the dragon? Could that be a thing?
Maybe it's
Maybe rage
I don't
dragons?
know. Maybe.
Have we heard anything? Any noises coming from the cave?
You haven't heard anything just sitting here since that happened. Just the normal, as the dome ceased to exist,
Can
just the normal waking noises of the swamp at dawn.
okay, so we know that that blue dragon that we were friends with for a minute can look like a human. Could a dragon look like a troll? What gives dragons the ability to look like a human?
Just their dragon nature.
Polymorph?
No, it's just their dragon nature.
Okay.
No. What does a troll cave look like?
Is Harper with us?
Yes, she is. Yes. Would you like to ask her anything?
Yeah, did you take us to a troll cave by accident?
She says, "I don't know. I didn't know what you're talking about. As far as I know, this is where the dragon cave is described as being."
Yeah, checked out. Had a bunch of treasure in it.
Did smell like dragon.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I don't want to go up against a troll and a dragon at the same time.
But of the two, we could more easily handle a troll.
This is true.
And we do need some troll organs to trade for some superior health potions.
yeah.
What do y'all think? Roland, Cirithus, what do you think?
I sort of think that I'd be willing to go 4 or 5 feet into the cave stealth and see what I see. but not real far.
I think that we should see if maybe the troll leaves again. And when it's separate, maybe we could talk to it, ask it questions about the dragon.
Okay.
Do we speak troll?
Magic can.
Magic can do anything. All right. What do y'all think?
I guess we just gotta go in there and see what happens.
Let's go in there and start hitting trolls.
I don't know, maybe, yeah, probably.
Sounds good to me.
Shit,
So
yeah.
everybody wants to walk into the cave.
Oh no, God, seems like a bad idea, but I can't think of a better one. The other option is just to wait here all day and see if the troll walks back out, and then what?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we're waiting all day.
Yeah, and we know the underwater entrance, but we don't know what the other entrance looks like.
Like once we get inside.
Yeah.
And what if the troll doesn't come out? Then we have spent all day doing nothing.
Troll call. Yeah, troll.
I'm ready to go in.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's just
Yeah.
roll up in this cave.
All right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Which entrance do we want to go in? What are we doing?
I think we should go in the front door because if we go swimming, our cloaks are going to be wet and they're going to weigh more. And I think we should just go in the front door.
I mean, it's good enough for the troll.
And I mean, it would give us, if
in the
nothing else,
water, didn't
a vague idea of. Sorry,
Sorry.
I was just going to say. I mean, even if we went in like 15 feet or whatever, we'd know a little bit about what each entrance looks like at that point.
Yeah, I agree. Who has good stealth that wants to pop their head in?
I'll pop my head in. My stealth is good.
Check for traps. I'll wait.
All right. So how we want to do this then? Roland, are you going to go up on your own across the kind of clearing to the cavern entrance, or is everybody going to go with you up until the entrance, or what?
I don't know, guys. What do y'all want to do?
Yeah, let's we'll all go up to the cave. Well, I mean, so what would be the plan? Roland goes in there and then comes back out and tells us what it's like.
Yeah,
I feel
I'll go in.
We're either all gonna end up going in or whatnot.
I'm cool with whatever y'all decide.
I'm cool. I'm fine either way.
I kind of like the water entrance, just because we already know kind of what we're looking at, and there's treasure there that would be cool to have.
Just enter from the treasure entrance,
Yes.
exit through the gift shop.
Do you want to roll for it?
You know, we could go in through the back entrance and let the metal child stand out front and see if the troll comes out to see him.
So using the metal child as bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The metal child. No,
Well, so the metal child's gonna come with us?
no. The metal child will be hidden like we did yesterday.
Okay.
He's only a boy.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
he's at least 1,000 years old.
if we leave him behind a tree, if he is camouflaged, the metal child can tell us if the troll goes past. The metal child cannot stop it or really.
Well, can it really tell you?
Well, this is hey.
When we come back,
Whichever entrance we decide to go in, I could cast alarm on the other entrance and have it send me a silent, like, mental ping when a creature crosses through that entrance, just so we would know if something is coming on the other side while we
yeah.
are going in one.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't tell us which entrance to go in or who's going where, but that's just
That's a good practice.
that's
I
just
like it.
something that I just thought of.
Yeah.
I kind of think we should go through the water entrance too, because they're not expecting somebody to come up from the back.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
okay, metal child, and I kiss him on his forehead.
Oh.
It's so cute.
And I'm going to spend 11 minutes doing a ritual casting of alarm on the front entrance of the cave.
So to do that, you will have to be within 30 feet of it.
Oh.
Yes, so I'm going to...
You have to stay that close?
For those 11 minutes, I
Oh,
guess,
okay.
yeah.
You might want
I mean, you can do that, but
to.
Yeah,
Hide, don't be on.
yeah, I will creep up till I'm like 30 feet away.
okay. So stealthing up, could you roll a stealth check?
Yeah. Let's see. 12.
Okay, good to know. So creeping up across through the grasses, you feel pretty confident. You've been fairly quiet. And you're casting an alarm across the entrance.
Yeah, well, I guess a 20-foot cube, would that be enough to cover the entrance, or?
It would be able to cover the majority of the entrance, except for like the very top edges and the very side edges.
Yeah, the areas where something's gonna walk through, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that it's going to be a mental alarm, and I don't know. I'm not going to designate any creatures that won't set it off.
Okay. So you managed to get up there and you cast it. There's the occasional like call from different birds and things coming from around that occasionally startle you, but you don't hear anything from the cavern. And making your way back to the group, are you all gonna go in through the water entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I set the alarm, guys. We're good to go.
Cool. How long does it last?
8 hours.
Yeah. Cool.
And you can be a mile away, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got room. Okay. So, do you want to do this stealthily, or are you just going to rush in through the water entrance?
Does anybody have pass without trace? I don't know if anybody answered that.
No,
Anyone?
No.
But I do have an idea.
Okay. Is it concentration? Like, can you have that and the alarm thing?
Alarm is not concentration. I don't think. Yeah, it's not. But so I was thinking about using my Ring of the Grammarian and see if I could turn banishment into vanishment.
Vanishment.
Yeah.
Let me look up the rules for banishment real quick and decide what vanishment would look like.
what I'm trying to do is a 4th level spell, so it should be pretty powerful.
It's powerful, yeah.
So I wanted to try to give us all in some sort of group or a radius some type of invisibility or hard to detectableness.
Yeah, but is that similar to the nature of vanishment?
No.
Okay.
But I can change the spell name, so.
Yeah.
And one's abjuration, the other is. Let me see. Because basically, what you're trying to do is cast mass invisibility.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, so invisibility itself is 1, and then at higher levels than a 3rd level spot, you could do additional creatures, and it lasts for an hour. I will say, what level is banishment?
4th.
4th. I will say, if you're casting Vanishment at 4th level, it will make invisible up to 3 creatures or players for up to 1 minute.
Cool.
Is it worth it? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. That's you were asking
Now,
about penetration.
If you cast it at 5th level, that'll be 4 creatures.
That's almost everybody.
But it's for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 10 rounds of combat if combat happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and is it?
So saving it for.
Well, would the invisibility be the rules of there's an invisibility there's an invisibility spell, and then there's like a true invisibility or something. Basically, there's one where you can attack and it not unvisible you.
So I would say the rules would be that of the invisibility, the 2nd level illusion spell.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
So if you attacked, any creature that attacked would lose their invisibility. But that wouldn't cancel invisibility for everyone.
Okay.
So yeah, it's up to you.
I want to add before we go any further to see if I could have changed one of my spells in my staff to water walking
Okay.
because ritual.
Yes. Good to know. Okay.
So I'll replace meld into stone with water walking.
Okay. Cool. All right, so with all these theoretically in mind, what are we doing?
Let's go swimming.
All right, could everybody, I'm guessing everybody's going to try to be sneaky, so could everybody roll a stealth check?
16.
Damn it.
I got a
28.
7.
5.
Okay. Good to know. So coming around the clearing once again to the large expanse of water you had previously found the tunnel in, you dive beneath using your water-breathing spell that Sirthis casts on you every morning, just in case. And you all come up after a few minutes into just eyes peeking out of the, like I said, kidney-shaped pool of water in the midst of this cavern. Would anybody like to see what they see with a perception check, or what would you like to do? Just jump out?
I'll jump out.
All right, never mind.
All right, Roland just jumps out of the water. Just as she's coming up, his buoyancy rising him up, and as you release from the water, you're able to entirely clear the side of the pool and just land some water splashing around you. What was do you remember what your stealth check
28.
was? 28. Okay. And as it does, the water seems to just kind of slosh up a little bit over the side, and your feet land as often the elven feet of all of your people do, extremely silently. Your rapier in one hand, your rifle in the other, just peering around. What would the rest of you like to do? And roll and make a perception check real quick.
11.
I want to break the plane of the water like I did yesterday and wait a minute to see if anything happens to Roland first.
Okay. All right, with an 11 check, Roland, even with your dark vision, it's a little bit dusty in here, if you will. You see the same described pile of different, very shiny things over to the side, along with bones and pieces of bodies and things like that. And over to your right, you see the same dim light coming through an entrance of some type, slightly arched, with some kind of path leading up, with the morning light coming through just a little bit. You don't immediately see any kind of creatures or anything like that, other than what looks like a couple either bodies or skeletons of something, some humanoid type of being laying on the ground, and you can smell that same putrid stench, just a little bit more condensed here in this space that you had smelled in the clearing above of
Going to
dead things decaying. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna pop my owl up out of the water. I'm gonna stay underwater
Okay.
and scout as far as I can.
Okay.
You'll be able to see, and then bring it back.
So make a perception check with Casilda. She's a little bit slower with those wet wings, but...
That's why I just had it in a pocket dimension till.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you pop her into existence just above the water, and as she's flapping, she flies off. What's her perception check?
Not good. 9.
9. Okay. So, as Casilda flies about the cavern, you can see Roland in the kind of the center-ish off to one side a little bit, where the pool of water you all are hiding in right now. It's a pretty good-sized cavern. There's more different, looks like, outlets that lead off into darkness in certain directions, in different tunnels and things. And the one that you saw light in, you can catch kind of a glimpse of the pile, but Casilda seems a little bit rushed, and you don't catch a really good look at anything.
Gotcha.
All right. Everybody else, what are you doing?
Can Roland turn around and raise his eyebrows at the rest of the people at the pool? Like, where are y'all?
Oh, definitely. You all, as you're kind of peering out, see Roland kind of turn around, just give you a look like, what the hell?
Another food. Is there any scales?
I'll like mentally communicate to everybody, be like, after y'all.
Okay. Are you gonna do a spell?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself. and crawl up out of the pool. Go stand next to Roland.
All
I'll
right.
crawl up out of the pool as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to quietly crawl out of the pool.
Okay.
And not be a clumsy Goliath.
Anybody who would like to quietly do this action, because it is, I don't know. I'll consider this part of your previous stealth checks, which I have an average for. So as you all get out, you're not the quietest, but you're at least not talking, things like that. And you find a kind of silence around you. After the constant just noise of different insects and animals and branches having rotted out, breaking in the distance, things like that, of the swamp, it seems very, very silent in here. Just the occasional drip of water. And that's about it. But nothing moves as you come out of the pond.
Did Harper stay up there?
Well, Harper is nowhere near you. She is back where y'all camped, just gladly hanging out with a very silent metal child.
Are there any? Can I do a perception check to see if there's any like loose scales or anything?
Yeah, go ahead. That would be probably an investigation check.
Okay.
I'd like to help.
Would you like to both roll, or would you like one of you to roll with advantage?
You want to do advantage?
Who's got the better?
I've got a-
investigation?
Oh, investigation? My
I think-
investigation sucks. So I can
I've
just
got-
help you.
Okay.
Okay, with Crom helping you, go ahead and roll at advantage.
16, 18.
18. Okay. Looking around, you notice once again those same claw marks, which are huge. Based on the claws you see, whatever claw made this was a good 3-4 feet across, much bigger than a troll's claw. But that seems to be other than the slight smell in the air, the only sign you catch of a dragon here. Searching around, you do, search a little bit through the pile around the side and find that there is a good amount of, it seems like, coins in this pile, as well as several other things like, it looks like goblets and jewelry and bones and body parts, or like random body parts that seem to be piled up. It's not like a dragon's hoard, not nearly as large, but still interesting.
How familiar are you all with dragons?
A little bit. This seems a little weird, though.
We have a book about dragons.
You had a book about dragons. The beholder took it back.
We
Yeah.
saw a book about dragons this one time.
I met a dragon one time
Was he able to fit in a 10-foot wide hole, do you think?
when he was a human.
Yeah, he walked around like people's.
I don't feel great about this place.
Well,
Worst case scenario, all we find is a troll. And we
Really?
kill it.
That's the worst case scenario?
well, I mean,
Yes, I heartily disagree.
okay, there's no dragon, and we find a troll. And
The
we
worst-
need to kill a troll anyway.
The worst case scenario for me is we find a troll, we beat the troll and are wounded, but then we find a lich. That, to be honest, is my worst case scenario.
And then also a dragon.
And then maybe later a dragon.
Are you saying you don't trust Harper?
My fear is that the lich is also the dragon. They are one and the same. That is my fear.
Is that a thing?
I do not know enough about either, and perhaps I am being.
That sounds like an awesome thing.
I may be taking too much out of Harper's story the other day, but
It's okay. Give
Well-
me ideas.
okay.
We're here, so
All right, everybody. Fan out.
Would you care to check any of this stuff for magical nonsense?
Like,
I mean, you've already got 4 spells going, don't you?
Yeah, I
no.
can do that at will. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Cirithus, do you want to? I mean, first you got to do a specific investigation check in the pile. But yeah,
okay. So I roll an investigation.
yes.
Uh, 16.
16. Okay.
I
So
mean 18.
an 18. Which is it?
That's an 18.
18. Okay. That does change things a little bit. Looking into the pile, you find a lot of random, some humanish, others possibly animal, possibly humanoid, who knows, bones, some with flesh still on them. You find a couple skulls that are definitely not human, a couple that are. You find 30 platinum, 4 gold, 67 silver, 45 copper, 2 rather plain looking daggers, and a collection of 4 rings that are attached to a bracelet by chains.
Anybody writing this down?
I mean, I have it written down if you need.
That's good. Because I was not prepared.
All right. At some point, yeah, it'll need to be split up, but we can go over that later if you need. Does anybody need?
I'm writing it down.
Okay, cool.
So nothing in here glowed.
I mean, once casting your detect magic spell, you find that the 4 rings attached by chain to a bracelet do glow fairly strongly.
All the same color. What kind of magic?
Let me see. It's interesting. The rings and bracelet partially glow in a illusory kind of school of magic, like for illusions, but also glow in a sense that you're not quite able to sense what the school might be, just that it's fairly powerful, but it doesn't necessarily have a specific school. Totally. So it's like multiple.
And it's just like it's on a hand.
Well, at the moment, it's just kind of laying there in a pile. As you pick it up by the bracelet, and the 4 rings that are attached by chains kind of stretch out a little bit and then raise with it. Some people that you've heard of call this a slave bracelet. Others call it a hathpul. In any case, it has different meanings in different cultures. It doesn't hold any meaning magically necessarily, but you notice looking at it that it has several crescent moons carved into both the rings and the bracelet. And as you look closer, the rings are each of a different metal. There's one, oh gosh, I gotta look at it. There's one that's gold, one that's silver, one that's copper, and one that's platinum. And they're attached by chains to a bracelet that is jade.
Okay. Might I suggest that we? So this is like right outside the pool, like really close to the pool.
I mean, fairly close. I mean, it's a good 10, 15 feet away from it. This cavern is pretty good size, but it's not the It's not the biggest cavern you've been in, especially since that dwarven city you all were in a while back.
How curious is everybody to figure out what this is? Should we wait, or should we
Oh.
move to maybe a more safe location, figure it out, or
I think-
or what?
I would say,
Go find the dragon or
yeah, I'd say
trolls.
just stick those in your pocket and
Yeah.
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 Okay.
deal with that later.
Okie doke. All right, so having found what is valuable in the party, unless somebody wants some remains of different humanoids and creatures, what are all the rest of you doing?
I do have an animate dead
No,
spell that's
no,
just like itching
no,
to get cast on
no.
some piles of bones.
No, later.
I mean,
We're
it is a motley pile of bones. This would be interesting.
Because with like a 5th level spell, I could create like 5
Um,
zombies or.
Crom is gonna start seeing which way there's an opening.
I mean, there is the opening from the pile is over kind of past the side of the pool that you came up through, and is kind of outlined in just vague, kind of dim light. And it seems to have a path that leads fairly steeply upwards.
Okay, very quietly, I'm gonna say, I think we should go this way.
Can I see if there are any like drag marks in the dust or any type of path?
Yeah, make her a survival check.
Natural 20
Oh, what's the
plus 3. 23.
Okay, so looking at it, you definitely you definitely catch sight in the dust and some mud and things that are here. What looks like large humanoid footprints, both coming in and out.
I think we should go after the footprints, y'all.
Which is that path, right? That same path?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Walking that way.
I'll go first if y'all want, because I have dark vision.
Yeah, and as you come up into this passage, you realize it looks like parts of it have fallen in even recently, like dirt and rock have fallen in. What used to be a fairly large passage is now only maybe 6-7 feet wide. So what is the marching order here?
I'll go first.
I'll go second.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I'll go somewhere.
Where?
I'll go wherever I'm needed.
Yeah, I think the spellcasters are just kind of walking a little group in the back.
Okay. I got that then. Okay, so rolling first, Crom second, and then the rest kind of after.
Yep. We switch places constantly.
So as you walk up the passageway, it gets a little lighter as you go up and seems to curve around a bit, parts of it being very collapsed in, and you kind of have to scramble across rocks and things like that. Vines and roots have been growing down, it seems, through this passageway. At several points you come across what looks like partially dismembered parts, sometimes whole bodies that have been pinned against the wall with large, rough wooden stakes. Sometimes just skeletons, other times less decomposed and just rotting humanoid. It's often human looking, sometimes smaller, maybe halfling looking bodies. It's this macabre, very creepy kind of warning for anybody who would be coming down while you're heading up instead. And as the light becomes more and more bright as you kind of curve up towards what you know is going to be the entrance, Zippo, near the back of the group, you suddenly see because you do have the highest passive perception. One of these bodies that is up on, like pinned to the side of the passageway, suddenly twitches as you walk by it near the back of the group.
I tap the shoulder of whoever is in front of me and whisper in their ear, "The body moved on the wall."
Chomp, that would be you.
Yeah, what about it?
The body that is pinned so tastefully to the wall, it moved. I'm very tempted to smash its head in, but I don't know if it is alive.
Was he, could he get off the wall?
It was hard to tell from the one twitch.
Well, I feel like if he could get off the wall, he would have already done it, so I guess we're okay. Let's keep going.
As you say this, the body suddenly, like an arm, just shoots out. Zipple, could you make a... You can choose either athletics or a acrobatics check.
I'm gonna do athletics.
Go for it.
2.
And that's against a natural 20. So, as the arms just shoots out, you see that it looks like what was most of a body sans one leg of a either dwarf or a large halfling. Its arms suddenly shoot out and just grab onto you, and suddenly you find yourself grappled and unable to move as this thing is pulling you in, and its teeth are starting to kind of chomp and go after you. The rest of you, as you see that as you've gone up the chamber, this passage, and the bodies have gotten kind of more numerous along the walls, pinned up, they all start to stir and start to reach out towards you. And that's where I'm going to leave this week.
Cool.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
Oh.
Because, because undeads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a lot of work to do.
Again, 500 miles could go within seconds, but combat could last forever.
That's true. All
I
right.
was really hoping that banishment was going to work.
I mean, but yeah, it wasn't listed in the things that could get rid of the ghost. But turn undead was.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be very useful here.
Yeah.
Possibly. There's also other things going on, but in any case.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
Oh,
So everybody is good for the next time.
Yeah, is everybody good for this
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Should be.
Yep.
When's that?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Let me see.
Let me look at the map. The calendar. The 17th.
Yeah, it should be.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks again. Y'all have a
Thank
good one.
you. Yeah, and everybody be careful. Get the vaccine if you can, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Once we all have it, we
Thanks.
can be in person again. Okay, bye.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Bye.